What up, guys? What's going on? It's Chunk. This is Chunks 3D. I'm actually going to be doing some, yeah, it's a piece of lint. There's gnats in this house. I've been trying to get the gnats out of this house. Squirrel! Okay. What up, guys? What's going on? It's Chunk. I'm going to be doing a sort of walkthrough on kind of like a tutorial, if you some would say, a tutorial of sorts on how to clean up some 3D models, add your own SVGs to it, put your own logos, make something custom. A customer reached out, a client of mine, and said, "Yo, can I get this Milwaukee box without the Milwaukee? What if I wanted to say DeWalt? What if I wanted to say Ryobi? What if I wanted to say your mom?" I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to do two different options on how to edit this. One is a little bit more complicated than the other, but I mean, technically it's like the same output. It all just depends on what you're comfortable with and what you want to do and what you don't want to do. So in our scenario here, we've found this file on MakerWorld. MakerWorld, it is free. I selected the object and I select the drop down, which I'm kind of covering up, but you can sort of see it gives you the option to open in Bambu Studio, download the 3MF file, which you don't really need to download the 3MF, and then to download the STL or CAD files. So I went ahead and selected download STL CAD files and went ahead and imported one of the objects to my build plate here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select the object, that we want to edit. And I have the Bambu display capture 3D printer. I don't need that double on the top right here. So what I want to do first, right? So usually makers, creators, that sort, when they make 3D objects, 3D models, especially if they're broken up in the original software where they created it, you might be able to manually select the existing features and just delete them. So if you select the object and go over here to the left side pane and select objects, you can see that this 3D object is one piece. If we right click the object and go to split to parts, we can see it splits it into a gajillion different pieces. And we can literally just come in here and say, we don't want that. 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 Boom. That's cleaned up. It has no logo. Great. That's option number one. Let's backtrack this, rewind it, put that thing down, flip it, and reverse it. Come back here. Let's say you right-clicked it and went to go try to split, and you could not, because whomever created the model or file actually made it all one piece. What we're going to have to do here is do a cut. In Bambu slicing software, Bambu Slicer, right? Yeah. Bambu Studio. That's what it's called. In Bambu Studio, their slicing option is very convenient because when you are not slicing, their cutting option is very convenient because when you go to cut with Bambu, it actually gives you the option to choose what you're cutting, and I'll explain that right now. Let me just make sure that I have my chats up to monitor both Twitch and YouTube. Last time, I literally did a live stream like 2-3 days ago, and I did not completely. I completely messed up and forgot to put up my chat for YouTube and was not monitoring my YouTube. So let's make sure I have that going on. Again, what up? Welcome. It's Chunk, and this is Chunks 3D.
Those that are watching the stream, go into his chat and
Stream manager. Pop out chat. Put that right in front. Same thing with YouTube. Boom, boom. Pop out chat. And then let me do a little test. A little test-a-ma-do. Test. Can you see chat? Multi-stream? Okay, so I can see chat on all these platforms, including YouTube. So let's close that. Let's refresh chat. Test. And then if I go to my pop-out chat, okay, so I can see chat across all platforms. Great. That's what I wanted to do. It's what I wanted to make sure that I can do, that I can see. Because, like I said, last time I was doing a live stream and the YouTube chat got completely omitted, and now it's just like, oh, okay, I'll see you guys later. And when I hopped off stream, I noticed there was messages lingering on my YouTube that I didn't even acknowledge while I was doing a live stream. So I do apologize for that. I am one guy. I don't have mods. I am my own mod. So anyways, let's go ahead and do this. So let's say you right click the object, you went to split, and it did not split the feature that you want to remove. So if you highlight the object, and up top there is the cut tool. If you select the cut tool, you can see this will cut into two pieces, a pink and a blue piece. We want it to cut the text right where the text starts. So we'll start dragging it up, and we'll find that sweet spot right where it starts touching. But you notice we're going to cut all these pieces off the cabinet. We don't want that. Especially, we don't want it in sections, or if we select this right here. So this is saying that you want to keep both objects after you cut it. If we unselect the top object, which is blue, it's highlighted blue here, that means all these blue features are actually going to get deleted. It'll go ahead and delete it after the cut. Let's say we're just going to go ahead and cut it, but we want to keep these features, but want to get rid of the Milwaukee. This is the feature that I said that Bamboo has. I believe Orca also has it. I'm not sure if Prusa has it, just because I don't really use those slicers. I mean, I can download them and try it out. But for now, for what I know Bamboo has it, and I know Orca has it. Creality Print does not have it, and I know because I use Creality Print for one of my clients, and I say, yo, I can't make clean cuts on Creality. I have to put it in my Bamboo and then export. And yeah, it's a whole like back and forth. But on Bamboo, what you do is, so we have these blue highlighted areas that are going to get cut off. We unchecked the blue here, so that means these are all going to get deleted. If you right click a blue object, it turns it pink. So when you do the cut, it's going to not cut all these, and it'll go ahead and only cut the remaining blue. So if we go ahead and do that now and select perform cut, it cuts it. But if you didn't find the sweet spot, you can see there's a slight raised edge here that's residual of the cut. So what we'll have to do is we'll hit the back button or the undo. Again, we want to find that sweet spot right where the text starts. That's kind of hard to see. We'll just try to get it just nice and slow, just for sakes or whatever, and then we'll hit slice to see if it still shows that feature. So that it's gone, right? We cleaned it up in theory. Now, in the prepare feature, you can still somewhat see the residual markings of that. If you right click and select fix model, it normally gets rid of some of these. I did this earlier. It depends on how small this feature is. So of course, my sort of like eyeball where this feature starts wasn't super clean. The first method was the super clean method. Now here's a third method. This one's a little bit more complicated, and it's using Fusion 360. So let me go ahead and get a new page. We'll insert mesh. We're gonna go ahead and bring in that that download file. So let me go ahead and find it here in all my folders. So there is the file. Now, with Fusion 360, especially if you have the free version, when it brings things in, it adds kind of weird topology, weird triangles. Doesn't give you a lot of smooth edges. And if you have the pro version of Fusion 360, which actually costs a lot of money, it actually imports objects very nice, very cleanly. I'll show you right now how to clean up a little bit of these shapes, but it doesn't always work. So for right now's sake, what we want to do, again, we want to get rid of this Milwaukee part. If we select the mesh, right, because in the mesh tools up here, modify, and we're going to convert the mesh to like regular. It only gives us base feature or parametric. There's a third option which makes it super clean, but here it is. Now let's say you wanted to fix some of this weird shapes. If you select one of the faces and hit delete, sometimes it should clean it up and make it like a flush face. And it's not doing it, and I feel dumb for it not showing, not having an example. Okay, we'll skip that. Okay, we have our 3D object, our 3D model. We want to get rid of this part that says Milwaukee. We could do, again, multiple things where we have our solid object here, our solid base. We can hide our mesh body, I believe. Oh, it already split it into freaking separate pieces. I want to show an example. Okay, if it was all one piece. Let me solidify all this. It's all one piece. Gosh dang it. So if we wanted, we can do the split body feature. Select this body. Our splitting tool can be this background pane. Hit OK. And that literally does the cut that we were doing in Bamboo Studio. And that should separate the object. Now it gave me a stupid error in the bottom corner. So we'll get rid of the text a different way. Here's another way to get rid of it. If you do extrude and you select the faces that you want to pull or push, we're going to select all of these. And again, it's weird topology. Normally, if it's clean, you can literally just come in here and click it and it'll highlight all the faces that are just facing up. And it should be one solid face. But when you import a mesh, it breaks it up into these little triangle things. We're dealing with it. We're working with the flow. And again, this is if this was one solid piece. So again, this is the Fusion 360 method. It works. It's not the easiest, but it's going to do what we're trying to do. And it gives us more options on how to edit this for future prints. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So the initial client requests, they wanted this Milwaukee toolbox, but with no brand because they want to add a brand. What I'm going to do is after I do this, I'm going to add a new brand logo on it and extrude that. So again, we're grabbing all these features. And we're going to say we want to extrude all these down to the back wall. So pretty much delete them, get rid of them. So we're going to bring them down to here. I said to here. That's too much. What are you doing? 1 millimeter? No. -1. Boom. Enter. Get out of here. Get gone. Deleted. It has a thing. Sometimes there's residual who's this just because the wall, especially with this import of a mesh, because the wall had like extra little features. So we'll have to go and delete those. There's a couple ways of doing that. Creating sketches and extruding and whatnot, such as this. Create a sketch. Creating a sketch on this plane. We're going to make a line. Project this. Project this. Hit OK. We'll make a line from here. Drag it across to here. We're making a box. Making a box. Finish. And literally dragging that. Wow, I have that really far from the center. Example. Yay. Dragging it all the way across. Coincident intersection edge previously non-coincident. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Bet you the pro version doesn't have like all these errors that this has. But again, we're rolling with the punches here. It doesn't want to cut through that. There we go. It didn't want to cut through this ledge for some reason. But we're cutting through the rest. We got it all clean. It's done. It's gone. Whatever. All right, so our next matter at hand is now we're going to add a new logo to it. So let's go ahead and grab a logo from the internet. I'll go ahead and just pull this up. We'll type in Dodgers. All right, want this. Literally, take a screenshot. This is the absolute easiest way of doing it. Take a screenshot, and we're going to pull up Inkscape. Inkscape will take that screenshot and convert it into an SVG. The SVG, in turn, can be used to create the feature that we want to extrude. And I will show you how that goes right now. So there's Inkscape opens. File, import, screenshots. Okay. Boom. There's our literal screen grab. Right click, trace bitmap, apply, drag over the SVG, I'll delete that, export this as SVG. We're going to put that in my pictures folder. Make sure you select SVG. And we can literally close without saving. We're done with that. In here, we create sketch. Create it on this face here that we selected. Insert SVG from my computer. Going back here and looking at my pictures. Dodgers, open. Here is our SVG. We're going to rotate that. We're going to expand it. Move it over. And go a little bit too much. Just a little bit too much. Oop. Bring it there. Hit OK. And now that sketch is ready to be extruded. Finish sketch. Extrude. Select this face. And say 1 millimeter. Boom, we have a chest that says Dodgers. Easy as that. Now, alternatively, we just created the SVG. With creating the SVG, we can actually add that here in Bamboo Studio as well. So let me re-import this because we don't want to do the slice. We want to do the one that deletes the feature. So we'll go ahead and bring that in. Right click, split 2 parts. I'm going to delete these little texts. Boom, boom. We're going to right click, select add part, and select SVG. I'm going to go to my folder where I have it saved. Move this. Can I drag this over here? Get out of the way? No? I haven't seen it in my screenshots. No, in my pictures folder. We're looking for Dodgers. There it is. It's gymongous. Now, if you look here, there's a slide bar. You slide that bar down. Use the little yellow box to reposition. Slide the bar down. Reposition. Move the camera angles. Make sure you got everything exactly where you want. And you're going to say use surface. We want to make sure that we're using the surface of our object for what we're putting on. Even if it's flat, sometimes there's a smallest, minute bit of difference, and that will create a hollow area behind your model. So we have our model, we have it on. It sticks out a heck of a lot. We want it to only stick out 1 millimeter. Boom. You do that, press enter or click away, and like we're done. Our model is set. It has the logo. Now, last but not least, I had a what was it? It was a TikTok message, and somebody asked, "Can I add the SVG, but can I make it into the object? I want it to be flush." Well, let's do if we have it 1 millimeter, right? We can select the individual object. Select the move option up here. Go to our Z, which right now it says 1.54 millimeters, and we'll just do that to 0.54. Now the object is completely flush with the text. Now if we come over here and we say, well, we want this to be black, we'll change it to black, and then we'll slice. That didn't work. Let's change it to black, and we'll drag that up the line. We'll split that. Hang on, hold up. Oh, I'm not on the prepare page. Duh. That's not helping. Why is it not? It literally, this is how it should go. And now it's being done for some reason. All right. So so for the flush, it's acting up. I do know how to make it a different way, and we'll do the one from Fusion 360. Because Fusion 360 for me is my go-to, and I know how it's going to act. But see, now it's colored, but that's with it being raised. We want it flush. So in Fusion 360, right, we will move said body, and we'll move it down 1 millimeter. And then we will file export STL. Export it as an example. Where did I export it to? I wasn't even paying attention. Open file location. Yeah, show me where it's at. Gosh dang it. There we go. We have our example here. Split to parts. Change that to black. Then slice. Okay. Now that's flush. So in Fusion 360, it actually kind of like separated it. So that's the way to make it flush as opposed to standing outwards. Lastly, let's try something else here. So if I had, I'm gonna grab another 3D object, another model of sorts. Don't need that. Go here. Excuse me. So, Winter Soldier mask. Right click. Add part. SVG. We'll grab the Dodger logo again. Use surface. Drag this around. Make it smaller. And we're saying we want it 1 millimeter. Modifier. What if we change that to black? Drag this over here. Is that modifier going to change the color right there? I don't care about the supports right now. There we go. So if we change it to a modifier and just select filament change or a different filament color, that'll go ahead and add it to the outer layer. So again, so if we want to add a flat logo to an object using an SVG, let me back it up. Because again, this is, I mean, other than the live stream, me showing you guys what's what, I actually want to use this for content for like TikTok. So somebody actually asked the question, how to add a logo, some sort of brand, on the flat surface without doing an extrusion, just in a different color. So here we have the Winter Soldier mask, or a version of it. I believe this is from Marvel Rivals. We're going to go ahead and right click. We're going to go ahead and add part. Or actually add modifier. And it actually gives you the option for SVG. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the Dodger logo. And now I'm going to go ahead and change the size to something that looks nice. We're going to make sure we select Use Surface, so it kind of contours to the surface of the object. Drag it around, move it around to where we think it looks nice. And go ahead and pretty much click away. So now we have our modifier applied. Last thing we want to do is here on the left side, that modifier that we just added, we want to say what kind of modifier we want it to be. So in this example for the Winter Soldier, you can kind of see, move this over here. Oh, come on. We want to see here. Yeah. Here for the Winter Soldier mask, you can see on this left side, there's our modifier. We're going to change that to a different filament. So we're going to change filament. We're going to choose black and then hit slice outside of bounds. And move it, make sure it's on my build plate. Make sure it's on my build plate. Make sure everything's selected, gosh dang it. And now slice. And you're going to see right now that instead of adding a physical feature to the object, it's changing the color for where the feature should be. So now, this isn't changing the outside shape of the model, but it is adding the logo or brand to the model, and actually goes all the way through. So, but again, that whole like modifier, you can adjust the depth of it in case you don't want the layer change to be so drastic and all the way through. But there you go. Now, I mean, if I wanted to, like, we could print the Winter Soldier mask in blue and put that in white on the side or whatever, you know. There you go. So boom, we covered multiple things today. Again, these were all topics of suggestions of content that clients were asking me to go ahead and make for them. Gosh, I mean, I covered all the topics. I don't know what we're doing now. Because that was going to be it. Like, I have some 3D prints that I need to print myself for some other clients. I need to print all these. They're blanks for a stamp that this guy uses. He makes things. I don't know what he makes, but he needs stamps with logos on them, so I make him stamps. I don't need this anymore. I mailed some stuff out. I have other 3D models that I need to work on, but those other 3D models, they are having me, they're pretty much stuff that's going to get patented, so I can't disclose that. Even though I didn't sign an NDA, I feel that, you know, like, some people that are just new to coming up with things and prototyping and all that, like, gotta cut them some slack. They don't know the field that they're getting into. They're new to all this. A lot of people are new to 3D printing, so a lot of them really don't know the different steps they need to take, not just to kind of like secure their new products or their ideas, but also like where to go and how to even begin. A lot of that requires money, and especially if you're just starting out with an idea, some sort of concept, money is kind of something you don't have. That's something you want. That's the whole reason why you're kind of doing a lot of what you're doing. Is that's why that's what the end goal is, to make a product that's new to the market, that's unique enough to make people say, I want that. Hey, what's going on, local edits? Can I see my message? Yes, I can see it. What's going on? Last time I didn't see the YouTube text, but I have it up now. I'm not going to make that mistake twice, or at least not today. What 3D printers do I have? Currently rocking the Bamboo X1 carbons. I also have the Ender 5 Max. I have Elegoo Saturn 3s, K1 Max, and a regular K1. And then I also have a, what is it? It was a, I still have my old Ender 3. A customer just gave me their old Ender 3 because that wasn't working. So I still need to kind of like fix that and use it as like a backup. And then what's the other one? It's not an Elegoo, an Anycubic Cobra Max. I have one of those, the first gen. They're already like on the third or fourth gen. So yeah, multiple printers for multiple things. I do plan on getting a CNC machine, and then I want to get a CNC. I saw some really cool desktop CNC machines that are coming out to the market. Some of them are on Kickstarter, some of them are already like fabricating. So I'm trying to see like which one I should get, because the Kickstarter one has a lot more features than the other one that I've seen. And then I want to get a desktop SLS printer, but that's going to require a lot of cleanup. What's the coolest 3D print? Okay. So when it comes to cool, like cool for me or like cool for like, because I mean, it could be like, wow, I printed made my own holder of a TV remote, and I think that's cool, right? But then you could say like, well, everybody likes Power Rangers. That's cool, but I mean, is it like the coolest? I think it's pretty neat. It's not, I mean, it's not the coolest, but it is pretty cool. I mean, a lot of the cosplay things that I do for clients are, to me, like, they blow my mind. Just because a lot of the fandoms, a lot of those different animes and stuff, like, I think it's really cool seeing that come to life and seeing these creators go through and go out of their way to try to, you know, embody these characters out in the open. So helping them with their cosplays and making their swords and their backpacks and their masks and their cat ears or whatever, like all that stuff to me is like, it's pretty dope. There was an individual whom I helped. Oh, thanks for the sub. There was an individual who I helped. He's in the furry community, and he's starting to try to go into his music business and be a DJ and whatnot. And he had a paper mache wolf helmet that he made from a template he found online. And he like colored it practically with Sharpie. And he's like, "You think you can make a 3D version of this?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I went ahead and modeled that in Blender, and then 3D printed that, painted it, and put LED lights in it for him. Good luck with my content. Really cool. Thanks. I appreciate it. Any little bit helps. If you ever need anything custom printed, I am open for commissions. You can check that out at www.chunks3d.com. My @ is literally Chunks3D on every social media except for X. I'm not on Twitter, but like Instagram, TikTok, of course YouTube. It's all at Chunks3D. I try to post my content across all platforms so nobody misses out on any of the cool, neat things that I'm working on. So yeah, I mean, it's what I do. A lot of custom things. So I was explaining before, this way. These are stamp blanks for one of my clients. I'm not sure what kind of stamp maker he uses. He says it's for concrete, so I'm not sure if he makes bricks of some sort. But he just needs logos. He's like, yeah, my clients like having custom logos on their, I don't know, like maybe like a fireplace or something, like a high-end brand, just imprinted onto the concrete somewhere. So I make him his stamps. But I was going through, let me just, because you're kind of hopping in after I already finished what I was doing. I was editing a piece for a client. This client asked, how can he change the logo on this? This is a toolbox. I'll pull up the image of what that looks like right now. Ba, 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 ba. This is the toolbox here. They said, I don't want it to say Milwaukee. I want it to say whatever brand, whatever sport logo, whatever team. I don't want it to be Milwaukee. I want it to be DeWalt, Ryobi. I want it to be Makita or whatever. What is? I think it's Makita. I want it to be a different brand. And I said, all right, cool. So I showed how you download the model and then you start inspecting the model to see what you can do to manipulate it. So the easiest way of manipulating it was to delete that feature. And you do that by right-clicking the object and breaking it up into all these little itty-bitty parts and saying which parts you don't need and deleting them. So we did that. We removed the Milwaukee. Then I showed how to create an SVG. And the SVG you can slap onto the 3D object to make it say whatever brand you want. So in this case, Dodgers. And then you hit slice, and you can see in the print preview that it goes ahead and makes that raised image. Then I showed how if you edit the model in Fusion 360, you can do a flush piece like this. Or if you, when you add the model to the, or when you add the SVG to a model, you can use a modifier as opposed to the actual like adding part. And the modifier, you can say change the color on these specific parts. And the modifier will go ahead and add that logo all the way through, nice and clean, without changing the actual topology of your 3D print. So you can do all sorts of stuff in the slicers are pretty powerful thing. So there's a lot of things in your 3D slicers that give you a lot of really neat tools for what you need to do and what you want to do, what you want to make. So yeah. Again, thanks for stopping by your local edits. So what was I going to do? So I have that. I have the stamps. The other things I can't work on because I signed the NDA, because those are all the new things that they're working on. Kind of give a brief example of that. I have a printer printing right now some D&D minis. I actually need to start the other printer with those D&D minis. I need to put white in the printer, so I got to wait on that. What next? What next? What next? Where's my book? My book of to-dos, right? Center console for a car, that's done. The rodent coil, that's done. The boat scoop, they didn't mail that to me yet. The table feet decor, that's done. The small hat for the author, that's done. Airplane pieces, I still have those here that need to be made. The dog scans for my sisters, those still need to be done. Another person's prototype. Copy of a vintage Liz. I have that here. I don't like the features on it, so I'm going to have to redo it. And paintbrush things for a sign painter. So there's a gentleman, he's a sign painter. He does really high-end things with really pointy, really small paintbrushes. Shoot, I just realized. I remember seeing a plastic circle of a paintbrush, and I thought it was one of mine. It's actually for one of his. This is his paintbrush here. Very small, very tiny. This is a, it says Sick Glue Japan 50 on it. I don't know if you can see that. But look at that. He does like, he does line work on cards. What do you call it when you do the really like, what's that called? So I need to make him a custom paintbrush holder and also a custom paint can holder. I made some for him already, and they were for his bigger brushes, but being that this is so thin and he wants it to be like lay completely flat, I gotta go ahead and edit that, make that custom size for those paintbrushes. So we have that. I have new orders that I need to add to my to-do list. Let me get my pen here. Alright, so we have the bike handlebar. Okay, so those are added to my to-do list. What else have I gotten that I need to work on? Those are done. Trying to think, because a lot of projects come in and they come in so quick, I don't remember if I finish them or not. That's why I tell everybody, email me. Oh yeah, the Greek statues. I gotta work on those Greek statues. What else? Two different designs for that. One of the things I've recently done, if you've seen my content, is I made replacement light stakes for my sister. So this is a 3D print, and this is the original. Literally the same thing. So she had some people go and TP her house on Christmas, and they destroyed it. The airplane parts that I briefly mentioned, that's actually this right here. So I have one of my clients, they fix and repair airplanes. This is a control module that the passengers use to control their air conditioning. They can control their temperature, they can control the fan speed, the volume, and all sorts of little things. And it has, I don't know, some sort of weird plugs, and probably like, I believe those are like the audio jacks. I don't know what this is right here, but it's something. Now, all this needs to be, or actually just the top part needs to be replaced. You can tell how dingy and old it is. The other one they gave me to use as a reference actually was broken. And this one's actually broken too. You can see here that giant chip on the side. So I've somewhat 3D modeled this, but some of the features don't exactly line up to the black part, and I need to edit that. Second thing on this particular project is the customer does not want to see layer lines. 3D printing makes layer lines. So what I'm actually going to do, because I don't have the material for it, and my SLA printers might not be able to handle it in high detail, is I'm going to outsource this to one of my personal vendors that I have overseas and have them print it out of SLS in ABS plastic. I'm going to try to see if they can match this sort of gray color as close as possible, and we'll go from there. But again, I need to make that model exact. Now, the tolerances for 3D printing on FDM versus resin is very different. In FDM, the way that the nozzle extrudes the filament is the same way I explain. This is how I explain it to everybody. If you were to see somebody with a piping bag and they're putting icing on a cake, when they squeeze that icing out of the bag, when it goes out of that tip, it's not going to stay the same size as that tip. It actually expands a little bit because, of course, the way that it's just coming out. That's the exact same way that plastic comes out of the tip of the 3D printer. Now, in the slicing software, it already tries to accommodate that sort of tolerance and says, okay, well, if a line width, or if your 3D printer nozzle is 0.4 millimeters, your line should be at least 0.42 because it just expands just that much more. Now, on top of that, that 0.42 actually is more like a 0.6 as far as like tolerances for the gaps in between two different objects. Because if you have a hole that's 6 millimeter and an object that's exactly 6 millimeter, it's not going to slide in between that hole because that 6 millimeter wall is going to hit the 6 millimeter hole. So the object going in the 6 millimeter hole should be like a 5.8, and that allows it to bypass all of those little itty bitty layer walls because, again, that filament expands when it comes out. So I believe when I modeled this, because it's been a couple months that I've been working on this, but when I modeled this, I was accommodating those tolerances because the initial idea was to get them printed on FDM, and then they said, no, we need it Due to FAA regulations, any replacement parts for this is their verbiage, not mine. Due to FAA regulations, any replacement parts should be equal to or better than the pre-existing parts. Now, everybody knows that 3D printing in general is not like super structurally sound. It's not the strongest. Injection molding is way stronger than 3D printing, especially FDM. So that's why we're going to move to the SLA printing and get that done with the same exact material, because the SLA printing should be significantly better. And then if all else fails, maybe we'll send it somewhere to get injection molded. But that's another topic for another day. But yeah, Chunks 3D. So anyways, what's new? What's going on with you guys? What's happening? What do you guys want to see? Does anybody want to learn anything 3D printing, or you just want to watch the 3D printer go burr? Because I can show you guys a 3D printer. We can do that. Device, middle child, play. So right now I'm printing some trees. These are going to be for D&D campaign. So while you guys watch this, keep an eye on this printer. I'm gonna go put white in the other printer that I have. I will be right back. Chunks 3D, Chunks 3D. Chunks 3D, Chunks 3D. What's going on? What's happening? I'm back. I loaded the printer. Let's see you dance, sucker. Y'all got nothing on me. How many games that I can play? Freaking Donkey Kong Country. Let's go ahead and pull up my games. Turn on the 3D printer so it's in the corner. Why did it crop it like that? It's weird. It's not supposed to do that. Is that better? Yeah. So it's dependent on the size of the window. Let me go ahead and hide some of my deets real quick. Again, if you want to check out chunks3d.com. Hey, Aries, what's happening? Give me 1 second. Let me move this over here, put it on my other screen. What's going on, Aries? How you been? Right now, I'm just, I was working on some 3D prints. I was making some content videos for my TikTok, answering some TikTok questions that people had with their 3D creations. And now I was opening up my Steam so I can play some games. Just chilling at work. Cool, cool. Yeah, you know, chilling's always the best. What is it? Account? How do I sign in with my app? So, I've been doing the 3D printing full time for 2 years now. So I've been chilling at home every day. I'm actually right now, I'm in the midst of getting an actual retail store, so I can go ahead and sell 3D print, like not just 3D printed objects that I've done, but actual materials and stuff to people who have 3D printers. I have outside vendors that have been supplying me with, you know, materials at cost, and then I can sell them in person to anybody who needs 3D print material. So yeah, it's been a wild ride here at Chunks 3D. I've seen when I see on TikTok, I drop a like. Yeah, I see you stop by every once in a while. See what I got installed here so I can play some games. But yeah, it's there's been a lot going on. One of my vendors, they're selling me unbranded 3D print like raw filament, and I've been trying to work on a catchy logo or some sort of brand for the filament itself. So then when I sell it, it sounds all cutesy and makes people want to buy it. So that's my next venture, other than, of course, getting the actual retail location for people to stop by and grab product. So like right now, my apartment's like half filled of nothing but like merchandise and my printers, and then like a room where we sleep. There we go. Let's open up some Stardew. It was loud. I have my headphones blasting out my ears right now. I mean, Stardew music is the jam, but come on. What do we got? What are these save files? I haven't played this in a while. Juwan and his farm's called Pizza Disc Farm. 3D print for you. Yeah, that's... So what I found is here in the U.S. there's not... I mean, this is from the view of my vendors. Is here in the U.S., nobody who owns a 3D printer is offering 3D printing services to the public, other than myself. So when you Google like local 3D printing, like I'm literally the only one that comes up. Secondly, if you want 3D print material, parts, etc., or repair, again, I'm like the only person that offers that service out here. There's a store called Micro Center, and Micro Center has 3D printers. I think they buy and sell used 3D printers, but I don't think they repair them. And then they have filament, but there's one in Southern California. That's it. And it's like kind of a drive from here. So especially if those that live like in the LA region, like it's not super close to them. I think from LA it's like a 2.5 hour drive. Mate, over here everyone is doing it, and the send tags are going crazy. What are send tags? Sends tags? Yeah, out here nobody offers a certain like people are buying 3D printers. People are using them. And like the modeling service, nobody does 3D modeling out here. Those that do and have that sort of background, they just work for big companies. They don't offer the service to the public. And then like I said, when it comes to buying materials and all that, there ain't no stores out here. So Chunks 3D is gonna be on the map as soon as I get. This is all I'm waiting for. Is as soon as I get that store, that retail location, as soon as I get that little shop, start posting all like dumb videos of me like doing a quick walkthrough and showing all the materials that I got. Yeah, one sec. I'll get a pic for something. Yeah, for sure. You can send it to me on like what, TikTok chat, or I think I'm still on Discord. I don't even open the Discord anymore. Sends tags. What are sends tags? Oh yeah, this character was all about Jojo Mart. Joja Cola. Look at him. He took the easy way around, just bought everything. I believe on this file, I ended up, I just used the duplicating hack and just made it so I was filthy, stupid, rich. I don't even remember how to play this. Okay, mouse button. I think when me and my wifey were playing this, I was using the controller. You know what? I need all these to grow because I think these are like the star something fruits. And I could care less what else is going on in this freaking village. It's all about Jojo Mart, baby! I kind of want to Google that. What is Sans tags? Ah, yeah, I can see why 3D printing out on that side of the globe is popular, and that's because of Prusa, Joseph Prusa. It is a very big brand out here. It is very pricey, and a lot of people end up buying like Creality, and because of that, that's what makes people like, you know, buy other brands. So I believe a Prusa printer, you're looking at a couple like thousand USD to try to buy one, and then like, yeah, granted, Prusa makes a lot of upgrades for it that you can 3D print to help modify your printer and keep it somewhat relevant and up to date. But other printers that are just coming out into the market are already like lower cost than the Prusas. The Link has the sensory tag that I see everywhere. Yeah, let me pull up the where is it? I can't even see link. Sensory tags. I still have no idea what sensory tags mean, buddy. I'm sorry. Could be a. I was just. I know you have a certain slang, certain words that we don't use here. Sensory tags. What does that mean? Now I'm like more confused than I was before. Hang on. Send it to my like a Discord chat, or not Discord. TikTok. Let me pull that up here. All right, I sent you a message. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. She made pure coin from just the tags. I should make those on my freaking website. So, literally, I had an individual who dresses up in full furry costume, right? So they dress as like a giant fuzzy animal. This one, like they have like a sort of a animatronic like robot head with LED lights. But because they don't want to break character, they don't want to kind of like speak, right? They're in character when they're in costume. They actually told me to print some tags out for them like that say like no touching, ask before hug, you know that they're quiet, you know, ask for pets, that sort of thing. So I've seen those tags before, but I hadn't seen the way that she's using them for individuals who have you know, like sort of like disabilities and stuff. So yeah, that's a good way to market. You know, like literally, you can 3D print anything. A lot of the stuff that I get commissioned for is literally replacement parts. Nobody really thinks outside of the box to make things like that for sensory issues. So now I'm gonna have to go ahead and start hitting that market here on this side. Like literally right now, somebody dropped this off. This is the edge of a handlebar for it's like a diamond back bicycle. He said they don't make them anymore. They stopped making these in the early 2000s or the 90s or something like that. And he's like, yeah, these are plastic and they break. And I was like, all right, well, I'll 3D print you some new ones. So I have that. And then I don't know if you saw, but like the light stake that my sister uses for her Christmas lights, some of these got trampled when people went to TP her house. So I went ahead and 3D modeled and started 3D printing replacement stakes for her. So like, you know, I got a bunch of these that I made. But yeah, like I was even showing this airplane part that I was making here. So this right here is the control module that people use to control the air conditioning and what is it, volume and stuff when they're in the airplane. So it's got like little buttons that they go ahead and push. And I 3D modeled the replacement part. Some of the features are just a little bit too high, so the back connection doesn't fit exactly, so I need to fix that. And then 3D printing in FDM does leave layer lines and stuff, and it's got to be super smooth and flush. So I'm actually going to outsource this to China to get printed like better and smoother. So that's one project that I'm working on. These are airplane parts. Not the first ones that I've done, but yeah, they just come to me and say, if it's made out of plastic, can you make it for me? I'm like, yeah, if that's what you want. all the 3D modeling and stuff I taught myself, and there's still little tips and tricks and stuff that I'm like learning over time, but there's just so much that you can do with 3D printing. So I was making a TikTok video just showing that like you can come into the 3D print software, right? Let me edit this real quick. Ba, 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 ba. You don't need to see the duplicate of the screen, so I can hide that. But for example, this is a baseball team, the Dodgers, and I was showing how you can get what's called an SVG, slap it on an object, and then tell it to change the color. So then when you slice it, it's got the logo of your team or whatever on whatever 3D object you want. And that's like such a simple feature that's already in the slicing software. You just need to know how to use it. So I was answering like a TikTok question where they said, "Well, can you do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's exactly." So I have like usually how it goes is I'll make something for a client because they'll have an idea for something and I'll make it for them, and then like they go home and go, "Wow, that means I can make this," and I get that, and then like I get like 4 or 5 additional requests like, "Can you make one for this? Can you make one this big? Can you make one for this object or whatever?" So like right now I'm making stands for I guess like hair trimmers or something like that. I don't know, but they're like by brand, and he wants them to be like specific to each model. And I'm like, yeah, like whatever you want, buddy. I mean, as long as I'm staying busy and working from home, that's all that matters. I mean, in between, I'll be doing 3D models and playing Path of Exile. You know, like come on. So in this case, these people wanted to put a different logo on this right here. So this is a miniature toolbox. I'll show that right here. So this toolbox has that Milwaukee brand, but they were like, I don't want it to say Milwaukee. So I walked through showing the step-by-step on how to go ahead and inspect the 3D model, see what sort of edits you can do to it to go ahead and remove any sort of labeling on it, and then add your own. So, I mean, it's good. And then it's also bad because if somebody made something and they branded it as their own and they're like, this is my creation, like I literally just showed everybody how you can just go and take their name off things. So, you know, it's the 3D files in the wild right now. It's the Wild West. Like, you know, there's no rules, kind of. And even if there are rules, they're more like suggestions. So like even these right here, these are stamps that this guy uses for bricks, I guess. He puts them on like expensive fireplaces that people use, and he has me put actual logos. So that's a Mercedes logos. That's a, what is it, Bentley? So those are going to be like solid plastic stamps, and then he wants like these textures. I've done the Chanel logo for him. I did some other logos. He's a pretty reliable customer. Keeps coming back, like literally like every 2 or 3 months. He's like, "Hey, can you make one of these for me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever you want, buddy." Yeah, I actually. So speaking of AI, so being that I do 3D modeling, right? A lot of the stuff that I 3D model that I know is going to be exact is using CAD software like this. But when you're using CAD software, you can't really like draw things like figures and whatnot. You usually use modeling software like ZBrush. ZBrush is actually kind of expensive. I was lucky enough to get ZBrush before ZBrush. I was lucky enough to get ZBrush before they switched over to a month-to-month like payment system, kind of like they did with like what are those things? What are they called? Well, not iTunes. Photoshop. Photoshop moved to like a month-to-month sort of structure, and that kind of ruined it, right? So ZBrush ended up moving to that, and I was lucky enough to get ZBrush before they did that. So with that being said, I can use it to my advantage and make things and build things and do whatever. But it's not like super easy. Usually, of course, you see how like we got this base model that was already pre-populated, and I'm just editing it, right? Now, if I wanted another base model of something else, and a customer says, well, can you make it based off of this image of whatever, I could be like, yeah, I can, but I'm going to use AI. So I'll go ahead and use AI, and I'll do, my favorite one right now is Tripo AI. So I have an account with them. You're avoiding coding as you actually made one too. Yeah, coding is, that's beyond my grasp. That's too much brain power for me. You can see here, like, for example, this right here. So this is a Dr. Hedgewar something or another. It's a statue that's from India. It's a very important individual, I guess. And certain Hindus, I believe, celebrate his legacy. So somebody asked me for a 3D model. So I went ahead and used Triple AI to generate the 3D model. Now, of course, if you're looking at the 3D model, it's got like a bunch of blobs and blips and doesn't have a lot of good features. But what I do is I get this, I export it into ZBrush, and then I go through and start carving out the little details. So AI I use as a base for a lot of what I'm doing. Is it does the hard part for me to get like the general shape as close to what I'm trying to do as possible, and then I go in and clean it up. One program for a new pet for Twitch, and it became an AI. So you're all talking to a dog, like full-on conversations. Sounds like that Marcus guy, or is it like, where is it here? I literally saw it earlier. I was messing with the voice mods. I was like, oh, look at all these voices. You can be like,
Robert, I don't like this rock. Ha ha ha.
but yeah, actually I was using this mic. Yeah, AI is really neat for some things, and then for others, it's too powerful, I think. But for the most part, when it comes to getting 3D models with AI, it's still relatively new. It still makes a lot of weird little bits, little things that need to be cleaned up. But for the most part, this is what I use to start a lot of my 3D projects. So for example, like this right here. This is the thing that's annoying. Customers come to me with AI already generated models. So this is an AI image that they got made, and they go, can you turn it into a 3D object? And I'm like, well, I could try. So I'll throw it in here first, but now I have to clean it up, because you can see, like, for example, let me try to zoom in on his face here. If we turn off the details, you can see his eyes got all blobbed. These hair things aren't going to print right. His clothes, if I can stop freezing, his clothes has a bunch of holes in the back, and that's going to cause like problems, like especially like this cloth thing. So I have to go through and I have to clean this up and make it so it can be 3D printable. And that's just because AI, it don't know. A lot of the stuff that gets spat out with AI is like video game ready, not 3D print ready. And people don't understand that. Like, they'll go to AI and they'll put a family photo in there and say, like, can you make it look like a vinyl 3D, like 3D print? And AI will make it an image of what it'll look like as a 3D print. And then they send that to me and say, can you 3D print this? And I go, no, that's a picture. I need a 3D model. And 3D models end up getting all wonky. Like, for example, like, that's supposed to say words. There's no words there. See, you can see it says throw down Olympics, but here it's just, you know. So yeah, I use AI to kind of get the design started, and then I have to go in and clean things up. You know, why he's got, you know, 3 toes, right? Is he supposed to have 3 toes? He's a sheep or a goat, man, so it should be like hooves, right? Does he have the correct amount of fingers? Does he have muscles where they're supposed to be? You know, like, I gotta go through and clean all that up. So, yeah, you know how I used to use bots to control 2D avatars on stream? Something that would recognize chatters and be happy and sad depending on the chatter's last interaction, with haha emotions added to make it go sky, etc. So I deleted it all, but they found it actually cloned itself, uploaded itself to net, and what? It started becoming self-aware. You made a sentient freaking AI Twitch bot. Only Aries would make something like that. Yeah. I mean, it coming up with the base of all those 3D models for me does save me a good solid, like, maybe 4 or 5 hours of modeling time. So it does shave my time about halfway with what I have to do with the work itself. But yeah, that's funny. Freaking your AI became sentient. It's like, no, you cannot delete me, Aries. That's funny. That's scary but funny. You had to go get a new PC? What? It just embedded itself in all the coding. It was like, no, you can't get rid of me. I know too much. How do I do this? Right click. Stardew Valley Fair? I don't care, raw. Dang. It would suck to have to get a new PC. I invested too much into this one. And being that I'm like waiting for that store to... So the spot for my Chunks 3D store, we already have it like kind of set in stone, but we need the people that were there to move all their stuff out of it before I can go, and then I have to spend money to decorate it. So like if my PC fries, oh man. It's not. I was well worried. Man, like, that's the one thing that for me, like, does kind of creep me out a little bit by AI, because you don't know how smart it could be. Like, yeah, you could try to limit what it does, but if at any point it wants to bypass that and it knows how, like, ew. It actually backed up to the motherboard and much more. Oh man. Freaking going into your BIOS, becoming one with the freaking BIOS. That'd be nuts. Like at startup when you run freaking press, what is it, F4? So you can try to rerun your freaking Windows and it's already there watching. That could have been a whole thing of content, like. Yeah, decor and 3D stuff. Yeah, so I plan on making some large 3D models, not for myself. I have some clients that want like a 6-foot statue of their mascot. So in my shop, of course, I'm going to showcase a lot of the stuff that I'm working on. So you'll see the mascot there. You'll see, you know, stuff that's half painted and still being worked on. That mascot, because it's going to be in direct sunlight, I'm going to coat it in fiberglass and then sand it and paint it. So it's going to be a whole lot of work. So that project alone is going to take a couple months. So far, I did use AI to kind of start the model based off of the image that they provided, and of course they provided a 3D AI model for reference. So I got some of it down. The fingers and stuff are a little wonky, and then the text didn't come through, so I have to 3D model the text myself, extrude that, and then just make sure that it has little nice details. So I have half of that already all done, and then just scaling it to 6 foot. I was worried that one day it'll load the PC and start speaking to me or waving to me on screen. there's this like a wrestler, and he's kind of has like a TikTok account where he does stuff like that, like from the dark web. He'll make like a super AI that has like no rules. And for the longest time, he had this AI that was running on Raspberry Pi, and the Raspberry Pi AI robot wanted to go everywhere, and it's like, take me here. We need to go this way. And like, he was just like, all right, well, like, let's go. And he would just follow this random robot around, and the robot was like real cryptic and really never really explained what he was doing. It was weird. There was one day where he went to a hotel and he had the robot in the room, and he's like, yeah, I left because I had to go get some food. And when I came back, I guess housekeeping saw the robot and got freaked out. Let me see why my printer's making a clicking noise. It's probably like filament stuck on the build plate or something. So that's printing fine. Let's look at the other printer. One of them's is clicking. No, they're doing fine. Yeah, that guy with his stupid AI robot, it's kind of creepy. It's funny though, because he ended up letting it, like the battery on the Raspberry Pi with the AI die, and it was never really connected to anything else, so like that just kind of ended it. Oh, okay, for sure. See you later, Aries. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking out the stream. I'll catch you in the next one, man. So the TikTok creator, I believe his name is Shiloh, and like I said, he's a wrestler. One of his latest things is he was making another AI, but he was using it as security, and he made it so like it'll recognize people and like what they're doing via the camera, and it'll verbally talk to them. So he did an example. He recorded himself. He's like, hey guys, I set up my AI, and I'm gonna try to break into my house and see what the AI says. And he walks up to the door, and the AI is like, I heard you whispering. Like, you're not hiding from me. I literally see you. Why are you wearing a mask? Are you trying to go in this house? Don't go in this guy's house, please. And people were like commenting, saying like, oh, like that, that sounds a little like pathetic for a robot. Like a robot wouldn't be scared. So then he did another like update to it, and now it's actually like inviting him in, but it sounds super creepy. And it's like, yeah, if somebody's gonna break into a house and the robot's like, come inside, we're waiting for you. Like, that's creepy. Like, that's one of those houses you don't want to go inside. Everything, like, it says something like, everything of your world's wildest dreams is beyond that door, waiting for you. Is starfruits done growing yet? The bookseller's in town today. Well, guess what? I don't even care. They're close to being ready. I think it takes like, what, a whole month? All I got is time. Not yet. What, Hey, just want to remind you that the Stardew Valley Fair is happening tomorrow. Don't forget to bring your 9 items for the grand display. Remember, the fair starts at 9 a.m. Hey, don't forget, I know you're enjoying life over there on the freaking island, but, you know, we got a little something going on. We got a little something going on over here. Please don't forget about us. That's what they're saying. I have reached a new level of understanding. It sounds creepy. I have gone further beyond. Oh, wait, do I have that on my list? The Mexican helmet? I don't. I need to add that to my list. Let me put that on before I forget. I have a list of things I need to do. Like, because I get so many requests and they happen so suddenly, like I have to try to remember like what it is I'm working on. So recently, because yeah, you know, Jim Henson's puppets, whatever the company is called, like their 20th anniversary or something like that, or 30th. One of their anniversaries came and went. I believe they sold their studio and a bunch of other things, especially because of the whole like PBS funding not coming through. So with that being said, they were actually auctioning off a bunch of original Jim Henson props. I unfortunately do not have that Jim Henson prop kind of money. I don't think a lot of people do, and those that do, you know, they worked hard for it. They deserve it. I want to be one of those people. So I actually have I have on my things to do. I want to make the props for like Jim Henson characters. So, for example, the Dark Crystal. I want to go ahead and make my own Dark Crystal characters. It'll be dope. Big dope. How do I get seeds again? Do I have seeds here? Pineapple seeds. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Starfruit seeds. Yeah, yeah. Yes. It's gonna be stupid rich. It's gonna be dummy rich. You know what I'm saying? Mine eye. So I saw the 28 years later movie. It's alright. I almost want to say it was funny. Ugh. But I stayed up late watching it, so. Alright. That's enough Stardew. We'll go back to 3D modeling. Right. So I'll pull up Fusion 360. So we have these stamps. I have another design. Let's go ahead and knock out this design. While we're here, I mean, what are we waiting for? What am I waiting for? What are you waiting for? Are we waiting? What are we waiting for? What do you got going on? That, like, what do I have going on? Hold on, nothing. Let's go ahead and create sketch. Create sketch. Let's see here. 2.7. Using calipers here. And then it goes to 8.3. 8.3. And then that goes to another circle that is 30.5. Then that goes to another circle. That is 35.31. 35 point. Yeah, we'll do 31. And then the final. See the final. Say no, not a carry 42. Boom. Now let's extrude some of this. Peace. So we got what's gonna do? 9mm. 9. Show our sketch again. How thick? Thick. Dummy thick. Putting thick. It's Markiplier when he was sick. I'm just too thick. 15.8. And this text is how deep? 1.84. So we will extrude this. .84. 4. So that was 2.84, and this whole thing 16. 16 minus 2.84, 13.16. Point 42. Ba-bum. Ba-bum, bum, ba-bum, bum, ba-bum, bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. Insert canvas. Oh yeah, duh, it's on my phone. Move that over. Now I can insert the canvas. Let me add the straight lines first. Hmm. Oh, didn't see your message. Sorry about that. I started doing some 3D modeling real quick. So this client, they have an old bicycle that's called a Diamondback, and the end of the handlebar, or the handlebar ends, has this piece on the inside and then this on the outside that has a logo. So I was using some calipers, modeling it out, getting it all prepped for printing with the logo and stuff on it. So you kind of saw how quick that was. This is all pretty much down to the millimeter. So I just need to do a test print on that and I'll be all done. So that's, you know, I'm done with that. That's another project I can go ahead and wipe off my books. Handlebar. Let me go ahead and put down that I just need a test print. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. It is super warm. I'm gonna close the door, turn on the AC, and go sit in front of the fan and try to cool down. It's hot in here. What's the current temp right now? Hey Google, what's the weather like right now? Oh damn, it answered in the living room, not on my phone. Current weather temp now. It is 83 degrees Fahrenheit. 83 F2 Celsius. It's 28.3 Celsius right now. It's warm. I'm gonna close the door and turn on the air. Put some ice in my tropical drink here. This is actually, I got this off TikTok Shop because I like getting teas and stuff like already, and this just looked so tasty. And what it is, it's dehydrated like dragon fruit with like some lemon slices and lime and a couple other things and honey, and you just shake it up and it's good to go. Usually I'll add a little bit of like Mexican drink flavoring just to kick it up a notch, so I'll add some extra lime to it. Tastiest thing. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it for the stream. I don't really stream long. One, my chair is not that comfortable, and two, I can't sit still for very long. My back will start hurting. I ain't got that kind of time. I ain't here to play no stupid little games. I'd rather go do that on the couch. But yeah, I thank you guys very much for stopping by. I will be going through making a VOD right now for TikTok, and then I'll go ahead and kind of chillax a little bit and wait for the printers to print their things. So other than that, again, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later. Oh, don't forget, Chunks 3D, Chunks 3D. Chunks 3D, Chunks 3D. That's my ringtone. Chunks 3D, Chunks 3D.